Hello, farmers, and welcome back to Pichonniere Valley. Hopefully, everyone's having a good Tuesday so far. Hello, Panther and Kells. Welcome. Hope you guys had a nice weekend. Just logging in here. Had to update a few of the mods when I logged in today. And, yeah, literally just been in the game for about 30 seconds. I'm trying to get caught up. Just briefly here what we need to do, and I think we got a few things we can start off with. It is March. A new season is upon us. It is raining. But we do have work to do in March. We got to take care of our grass fields. I think we're going to go sell some butter. Move on to April. Harvest the grass. Got to check on the animals also in March. But in April, we got to figure out, do I need silage bales? Do I need hay? What do I need for the cows, if anything? If not, we'll make silage bales. And then, yeah, move on to harvest season. And we got to buy ourselves a harvester today. There's Sam. Hey, buddy. What's up? It's raining out, so he's probably happy. Labs are happy when it rains. Let's give him some dog food. So to start today, the grass fields. Yes, I'm going to get a worker to spread manure on the large grass field. And then we're going to take the Fent and we're going to go and sell some butter. Are you attached to that trailer? It does not look like you are. Let's see. Manure spreader. I got to double check to make sure my worker is on to take it from the manure pit. That way it doesn't run out. Let me make sure that setting is still correct. Settings. Is it game settings or general settings? AI workers, slurry from the cow barn, manure from the manure heap. All right, that is still good to go. So if you have not seen, Giants did release, at least they should have. I haven't double checked. But I kind of went over it briefly yesterday when they sent out the information to us. But the next DLC for the Season 2 pass was kind of announced. I didn't really get to go look at it myself, but briefly had a look at it. Temporary course. You just go ahead and go this way. Field settings. Number of headlands. I think 2 should be fine. If they'll even do 2 on this field, I don't know. Calculation. Ooh, it does not want to go up to this part of the field? Okay, why don't you want to do that other part of the field? What's up with that? Let me try this again. Let me do 1 headland. Well, I'll just let it do this. I'll have to do that side of the field myself, which is, I guess it's fine. Not sure why that is doing that. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure why course play will not do the other end of the field. Let's get over to the fence. And I'm going to go up to grab the butter and go sell that at the bar. Stuck on Xbox keeps repeating. Is YouTube acting up today? Go ahead and lower this down right away. has to be a coding issue with YouTube then. If it's working fine on your phone, but on your laptop and TV it's doing the repeating thing. Seems to be fine on my end. Well, I probably should look to see if there are any contracts out there that we could do. The Mercedes is sitting back at the farm doing nothing right now. I think we got about 31 pallets of butter. Which is a full trailer load. And we are going to auto load the pallets. I'm not going to use a pallet fork today for lifting up that many pallets. Let's go in cab because it's a little bit easier when driving in here to do so. Try to get as close as I can to the pallets, that way it loads more. Try to auto load them as they spawn, that way we don't have to wait for them. And then we just got the one more, which I should have a spot for it. And that is a full trailer. So the price isn't maxed on the butter, but it's pretty darn good. So if I go into here, I'll show you what the price currently is. So the current price is $14.87 out of $15.04. So that's pretty good. We should get, well, current value is $48,000 plus our bonus, so we should get somewhere around $55,000 for this butter. And we're going to the bar and grocery with it. So it's a little framey in here. All right, full throttle, that we don't get stuck on the wall, because sometimes I do. And then probably hit that car. And my worker is blocked by an object. Yeah, I'm not sure why some people are getting the choppiness of the stream. I'm got it on my other screen. And seems to be fine for me. Hello, I'm Bad. Welcome. Hope you're having a nice Tuesday so far. So I'm not sure what's going on with my courseplay worker. Never had an issue in that field before. we're driving right past the field, so we'll see what he's stuck on. So, I mean, I couldn't get course play to do the whole field for the first time ever, seems like, and now he's blocked by an object. Let's go see what's happening with Frank. Did Frank end up in a river, or what's he doing? Frank is over in that corner. So we got manure down here. Looks like he got manure down here. Maybe not so much in this area. We'll have to put on all of them. So I'm not really sure I know where you're going, dude. Or where you were going. But you were almost done. I'm not really sure I know what my worker was doing here. Well, this is where he was going next, so we'll just let him do what he was doing next. Alright, let's get back into here. Alright, let's get up to the bar and grill. So, yeah, the Franks seem to be having a little bit of a problem today. Hello, John. Welcome. Hope you're having a nice Tuesday. At least I remember where the bar and grill is. I'm not going to go up the wrong road this time. Yeah, gonna get a little bit of hail to start the day as well. That's not good for our crops. Let's go get our 55,000 for the butter. Pretty close. Don't know why I did unfold the trailer to go load the butter, but since I auto-loaded it, didn't really need to. And then I drove it with it unfolded all the way up to here. 677,000 in the bank account, and our worker is blocked by an object again. Not really sure what's going on with course play, at least in that field. I was hoping Frank would get that grass field done by the time I got done selling the butter, but apparently Frank has other things on his mind. Hello, Miles. Welcome. And no, I have no interest doing competitive multiplayer. I'm going to be enjoying my free time here in Pichonniere. Alright, I'm not really sure I know what my workers are doing here today, but yeah, let's see, we're supposed to do all of that. And I'm not sure if he did or he didn't. Looks like he got this section of the field done. Now, I don't know why I didn't do this section of the field up here. You should see a difference. Yeah, it didn't go up this side of the field, so that's fine. We can get it done. Then we'll have the other grass fields to get to. Those won't take as long. But part of me is thinking what's going on with courseplay. I may have to try another field just to see if it's just a bug for this field today or what. Alright, let's get on over to the other fields. Let me go ahead. I'm going to change this up here to just that. Alright, close that up. Well, at least that grass field's fertilized. Alright, so butter is sold, grass fields are being worked on. Just got to check on the cows and the chickens before we move on to the next month, where we will cut the grass fields. Looks like I got enough hay and silage for a little bit, so I think this next cut we'll do some silage bales, and we'll sell them in May. Got plenty of straw bales. One, two... Yeah, I can make 3 more mixtures of TMR with the amount of hay bales I got. Actually, I should have, just to make sure we're doing fine on the nitrogen side of things, we'll get the field up. Spin around here. Should be just one more pass, kind of like right down the middle. Do it from a top-down view. It's easier to see where the manure is or has not been. Alright, there was a little piece there that we missed, but that'll be fine. So we did all of our planting in the fall. So all of our fields are pretty much all set, ready to go. So other than our big purchase of being the combine today, along with a header for it, the next purchase will be the field, I do believe, right across from the farmyard. So we can look at putting a house down for ourselves. This hail's got to go. Let's fast forward time a little bit faster and see if we can get rid of this hail. What time is this storm going to pass on through? There we go. Alright, ×3. Alright, that's better. Let me go get some more manure before I finish off this field. Which the cows have made plenty of. Oh, it's a dual wheel tractor. That's not going to get around that corner. As much as you want it to. This field is starting to get like a rainbow of colors of fertilization because I got realistic spreading on for manure and slurry and such. So we're not getting a nice even spread of fertilizer on the ground throughout all the years. Well, there we go. Grass fields are fertilized. And yep, can't make that corner either with a dual wheel tractor. Alright, let's check on the cows and chickens, make sure. I think I fed the chickens like in February, so they might be good for a few months. The cows, I'm really not sure of what condition they're going to be in. Alright, the cows apparently are full of feed. And the chickens are good for another 2 months. So the Mercedes is actually already on the TMR mixer. So if I come over here, yeah, we don't have a whole lot. So let me go ahead and just put in what they will take, which is not much. And we'll go make a batch of TMR for them. Ooh, where is the 3650 John Deere. Is it just in the shed behind me? Ah, yes it was. Okay, so it's 2 silage bales, 2 hay bales, and 1 straw. Well, sure, you slide off when I don't want you to, but when I want you to, you kind of stick. Can I grab another one off the top? I think I should be able to. And the way the bales are stacked in here, it's kind of hard to grab 2 at a time a lot. So it's have to grab onesies at a time. Then we just need 1 straw bale. Do the cows need any bedding? Yes they do. They got 0 bedding right now. Alright, so 1 straw bale for the mixer, and then we'll bring 2 bales for them for bedding, which is kind of important for us to get solid manure. And those just fall right off there. And we should see the straw start to appear, which it does. That second bale is just about taken fully, but it'll be gone within the next in-game hour or so. All right, let's go ahead and park the John Deere in here. I think the second grass cut for the year I'll probably make a good amount of hay. Because that is what we're starting to get low on. Oh, I'm probably not going to get the trigger notice because their feed trough is full. So if we were to fast forward time... Yeah, there we go. Now it shows that it could use some. I'm just going to go late in the afternoon here. And we'll do this. I'll get out of the truck or the tractor. And that should automatically feed when they need it moving forward. For the rest of the day, sale page. Nothing in the sale page that we're looking for currently. So I think we're all set for the month of March. Yeah, I'm not going to do any contracts now. We're all set. So let's go just to the end of the day. We'll check the sale page one more time before we go to bed. Just to be sure. A 6M, which is the mod, not the 6M that just got released last week by Giants. But we don't need another tractor on the farm. We got a good amount. And sleep. So really right now, the only thing we're looking for in the store is the combine and the header. If something else pops up in the store page that I buy, that's an impulse buy. Nope, nothing there that we need. But the grass fields should be ready to be cut. They're looking lovely. Look how tall that grass is. We will use... Let's go use the Kubota for this. Because I do use the Fendt quite a bit, and the Kubota is the newest toy on the farm. Actually, to make this process rather quick, we'll be in the Kubota, and I'll put the Fendt on the baler. So we get the baling done at the same time. Let's make sure this is on swath dropping, or swath mowing, which it is. Alright, to the Fendt. Now, let me go ahead and move this trailer somewhere. Actually, let me go put it in the shed where it should be. And where it hasn't been in ages. If I really left room for it, and it looks like I did not. Okay, I'm gonna have a hard time getting out of here. Alright, so I'm just gonna park it here for now. Someone did not park the baling trailer right up against the other side, so it's kind of hard to get them side by side. Well, it's out of the way anyways, and it's halfway in the shed. Alright, lower that down. Turn on automatic drop. Watch out for Sam. Turn on the baler. And we'll get one of the Franks to follow us. Hopefully this works better than Courseplay. As Francesca is going to follow us. Alright, and the mower. And should be good to go. So yeah, again, we're going to be making silage bales in all three fields. We'll sell the silage bales next month, which should bring us in about 35,000, 40,000, depending on the yield that we get. But even though we just fertilized the grass fields, this means that they'll need to be fertilized again before July. And this time I might use slurry for it. Just got to make sure I don't get too far ahead of the worker. Although the Follow Me mod does store a lot of waypoints. I guess with the amount of money I have, the other thing I can purchase if it comes up in the sale page is the Variedo seeder, which will reseed our grass field. We have done quite a few amount of cuts, and we're starting to get, the bare spots are becoming more and more noticeable. And our grass fields could use a reseeding. Just want to make sure I don't get in Francesca's way. We'll turn the mower off, sneak through here. Make sure that she finds her way over, which I'm sure she will. Just want to make sure she doesn't get stuck on anything. She shouldn't. All right. Yeah, I was just thinking again, should I do any contracts today with the Mercedes? But I don't think cutting the grass is going to take us too long. Although if I fertilize the grass fields right after, then maybe we could do a contract. Although in April, I don't think, probably the only contracts that are going to be out there are grass cutting, and I'm already using the equipment. Oh no, I gotta back up. The Follow Me mod does not like it when I back up a little bit. I need to keep an eye on her when she attempts that turn. Yep, figured that might happen. I screwed up there. Let's get the worker back on track. Of course, now it may not be Francesca following us. It's going to be someone different. It's Francine, and she's wearing the same outfit that I'm wearing. Almost. So while we're kind of paused here for a second, I will take a look at the contracts, what's out there. This page here. So bill wrapping, deadwood, rock removal. Yeah, nothing that we want to do. NPC farmers have taken a sowing contract and a hoeing contract. So really none of the contracts I would do anyways. Did I make that corner? Good. Don't have to reset it a second time in the same field. There goes Sam's tennis ball rolling down. When the tennis ball gets too far away from the doghouse, it will reset and they'll just keep rolling down that way. And can I get it all? Not quite. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, off to the larger grass field. We'll let Francine will bail the road as we go on down through. So yeah, this field to our left, I don't think we'll have enough money after we buy the combine and the header to buy that field today. And again, we're not buying the field to farm in it for the most part. That's where our farmhouse is going to be. And we're going to decorate it up, put a pond in. We may keep some of the field to put in some sugar beet. I got to figure out if I want to do a greenhouse for sugar beet or farm for sugar beet to make sugar. For eventually at some point making some wine. I'm bad. Do you listen? I've said like 3 times. No, I don't. I play solo. Actually, how much is that field? I might... Ooh, it could be kind of close to be able to buy that field. That would be field number 63. 122,000. We might be able to afford that field after buying the combine and the header. Another good thing to know is, what are you growing in that field? Oh, that's going to be a vegetable, isn't it? What is that? What are you growing in that field? Peas. Well, we're not doing peas. I'm definitely not harvesting peas. Yeah, you can see this grass field is starting to show the wear and tear. How can you get more subs? Well, just if you're trying to start a YouTube channel, the only thing you can try to do is be consistent of putting out videos. I'm not saying you got to put out a video every day or whatever, but as long as you stay consistent and people know roughly a schedule. It's the same thing like when you watch a TV series or something like that. You like to know when the show's going to be on or when you can expect something new to watch. So you kind of got to get into a rhythm, which I haven't done myself recently, but on live streams. But you got to kind of get yourself into a rhythm so people know when you're going to be doing stuff, and as long as you keep going at it, eventually you'll get there. Am I getting too far ahead of you, Francine? Where is she? Yeah, she's not that far behind, but we'll pause for a second. Well, I'm not a good person to ask about how to record from PS5 because I play on PC. Got some big bare spots in this grass field. So we are losing a little bit of yield because of that. Again, I'm bad. I don't play on PS5 or record on mobile. You're asking me questions that I can't give you answers to. I play on PC. I'll let Francine catch up again. She's got to stop to unload the bales from the baler. That's why I do like square balers better than round balers. But at least with this round baler, we are wrapping the bales as we go, so I don't have to come back and do that again. And let's finish up this side of the field. Hey, Farmer Groot, how you been? Hope you had a nice weekend. Thanks for stopping on in for a bit. Now Francine has stopped me from working. So these bales will be fermented, I'm just going to say by 10 o'clock next month. Give them an extra hour. Got to feed the chickens this month as well. So we'll do that when we get done mowing this field. These bare spots are just getting bigger and bigger. Part of me does wonder these big bare spots here, but that shouldn't be happening. If that is wild boar damage, because we've been feeding the wildlife every winter. So in theory, they shouldn't be damaging the grass field. They haven't damaged any other fields if that's the case. Now let me tab over to the Fent. Alright, we're going to dismiss Francine. Stop the baler. And we will empty out the bale that's in there. Alright, back to the farm. We'll drop off the baler. I'll come back at the Kubota in just a minute. But I'm going to grab the grain trailer and feed the chickens first before I forget. Because I have a memory like a goldfish sometimes. I'll forget what I was going to do 30 seconds after I said I'm going to do it. Just barely getting that shed with the trailer with the extension on it. Alright, so what am I going to feed the chickens today? Well, whatever I come across first, that gives me 12,000 liters. Spelt, I guess. And also, I might need to move some eggs around as well. That hen came running right on over once I started pouring the spelt in. And it decided it doesn't like the spelt, so now that hen's running away. Hello, Anita, welcome. Hope your Tuesday is going well. As I try to get the spelt back into the silo here. Alright, chickens should be good now until like mid-fall. That almost gets them 6 months worth of feed. I'm going to drop that off. I'm going to grab the bale trailer. Head back to large grass field. And we'll start picking up those bales. Does seem to be that field across the way. Again, I don't really care what kind of crop they put into it, but if I get a free crop out of it, that'd be great. But they keep putting crop into it that I don't plan on harvesting. Yes, James, this map is available on all platforms. Pichonniere Valley by Black Sheep Modding. So again, these bales would be ready somewhere around 9:30 in the month of May. Again, I'll come back for the Kubota and the Batwing mower in just a minute. Let's finish up the job of picking up the bales. Because if I pick up the bales, I can go around with the slurry tanker and fertilize the fields again, even though we just did it. But we, we just cut the grass, so it needs to be fertilized again. So 20 bales looks like we're going to get. 19 full ones in that last one I made. There's Sam's tennis ball again. That bale stopped it from rolling all the way down to the river. But that last bale I had the baler put out, I think it was like 70% full. The next cut, I think we're going to be making a lot of hay. I should have enough to get to like the final cut of the year, but I don't want to chance it either. So we fed the chickens, the grass fields are cut, bales are picked up. So the last job I want to do in April is just fertilize again. Okay, let's grab the slurry tanker. So I'm pretty sure we got tons of slurry. Don't think I want to be able to turn around in here, so let's go out to the road. Yeah, with the eggs, I do need to move the eggs a little bit, and we'll see if the mayonnaise production, while this is unfolding here, let me just see if the mayonnaise production could use some of those eggs. Yeah, they could take 8 pallets, actually. And let's go ahead and turn this off, because it looks like we are done with making canola oil. Oh, no, we are not. We're still making canola oil. No, let's leave that on. All right, bring the mini-map back up. Let's lower this down. And there we go. One pass. So this will need to be cut again in July, but like I said, then we'll probably make some hay bales. And since I'm facing this way and I'm just about empty, let's go ahead and just top this off. Let's see, I got 500,000 liters of slurry, and actually that might be a full slurry. Yeah, we were full on slurry in there, so I got to use that up or start selling it, or is this going to go to waste? I mean, selling it is not worth a whole lot, but if it's a full barn. I don't think I got room to put down a extension. Because I would like to be able to hang on to it until we can buy the BGA. But I don't think there are any place to put an extension down. Alright, skip over to this second field. I knew you were going to hit that pole. Or I should say, I should have known I was going to hit that pole. Don't think I've ever had to use a slurry extension on a cow barn, because usually I use it all up. I think last fall I must have used the manure spreader and not the slurry sprayer to prep the fields. Alright, let's go get some more slurry, guys. We just found out I got tons of it. Oh, you fold in that way. There we go. Yeah, I just don't really have a spot for it. Never thought I would have a 500,000 liters of slurry, I guess. That's the wrong button. If we go into here, construction, and then go on down to, nope, gotta go here, silos, silo extensions, I think. That will hold another 500,000 liters, but I mean, I could probably put it over here in this corner and take up a little bit of the grass field. I don't know where the trigger would be. I think the trigger would be there, where that pipe is. That's only 65,000, or to sell a whole bunch. So it's either pay 65,000 or sell some slurry. What's the slurry going for? $34. I mean, I got a tanker that can hold 200,000 liters. Probably just better off to sell it. Might as well go ahead and, I suppose, sell it and actually make money. Well, whoops, hit a shrub. Make some money on it rather than spend money to store more and just wait until we get to the BGA. Because at the point, by the time I buy the BGA, earning extra cash from electricity is not going to matter to me. Hardly at all. Let's see, where did we leave off at? Alright, can see it right here. going to try to get Courseplay to do the large grass field, because that way I don't have to keep coming back to top off the slurry sprayer. But I'm also curious to see if Courseplay will work correctly this time. As I try to get this last little piece here. Got the wrong tractor to try to turn around in tight circles. Dual wheels are not good for that. And also spraying some cow slurry on Sam's tennis ball. Well, luckily the tennis ball heads for the river. And it'll wash itself off. Alright, I'm going to go back and top this off. Yeah, I do have Omatana's TARDIS tanker, which I can fill that up to 200,000 liters and we'll go sell it. At most, we'll probably get a couple grand for it. Alright, let's see what happens with Courseplay and this setup. See if it'll want to do the whole field or not. If it does the same thing, then, oh well. 0% overlap, so I don't want that hitting anything. It's kind of doing the same thing. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do it because it got stuck 2 times or 3 times on its own. So if I were to send it off, I'd be fiddling around with a worker more than getting some side work done. At least we get to listen to the sloshing of the water down at the little stream to our right. I did notice when I logged in today, of course I haven't played Farm Sim since, what was it, like last Wednesday or whatever, I forgot what day it was. Been almost a week, but there was an update to precision farming. And I don't know what the update was for. Kind of hoping it's got something to do with the nitrogen because I've been having problems with the nitrogen on my maps after about the 4th or 5th season where it starts to act a little weird now and then. So I think I'll be making at least 2 trips back to refill this slurry tanker. Oh, that's the milk. We don't want the milk. Slurry. Yes, we want the slurry. Seems like the slurry intake and the milk intake, in real life, you probably want them on opposite sides of the barn. That bush, I think I've hit that 3 times today already with this dual-wheeled Kubota. Should be able to finish up this side of the field, I would think. Then we'll just have to make one more trip back to the cow barn. Should be able to get this side of the field done. If I remember to pick up the sprayer when I back up, that'd be good, because I'm just wasting slurry at that point. I mean, I got plenty of slurry, but I'm just trying to reduce the amount of time I have to go back to the cow barn to refill. Yeah, should be able to do it in one more tanker load. Although I think it's going to use most of it. And once we get this field done, we are finished with April. And we'll probably just, other than selling the silage bales in May, I mean, I don't have to sell them in May, but we can sell them in June. I don't know if I think our first fields won't be ready until July, honestly. Although I did do some winter wheat and barley, so there's a chance that something might be ready in June. And for those wondering, how about getting a bigger slurry tanker and do it that way? Our tractors cannot really manage a much bigger tanker than what we have. And again, on this series here, I'm restricting myself to no tractors over 200 horsepower. 200 horsepower is the max on our tractors. Kind of keeping me to use the smaller equipment in this series. Because basically, most farmers probably playing at this point would have, the Fendt 1050 or some big tractors like that, and you get bigger equipment. You don't really use the small equipment too often, at least I don't. So this has kind of forced me to stick to the smaller stuff and experience it as we go along here. Where did I leave off at? Was it this far back? It was this far back. Okay. All right, how about, yeah, let's not back up. Let's just drive forward and spin around here. So you can see in the bottom left-hand corner the color of the field changing from a dark red, which is pretty much no nitrogen, to a yellowish or an orange color, depending on the soil type underneath it. Of course I was going to hit that pole. Kind of annoying. It's leaving a little bit of a sliver between these headlands that we're doing. Well, I think I'm going to have to make one more trip back to the cow barn. Yeah, it's not going to quite cover it all, I don't think. It's close, but not quite. Unless I really don't care about the sliver too much and the little bits here and there. But really, what's one more trip back to the cow barn? That's why I was trying to get a helper to do it, because a helper would take the slurry directly from the cow barn. That's the way I got it set up. And I wouldn't have, you know, they don't have to go back and forth to the cow barn and refill. They just automatically withdraw it from there. But for some reason, Take Horseplay is not liking that field. So after harvest this upcoming season, definitely we'll use a slurry to fertilize the fields before we replant and use it up. The manure we got should have tons of room on the manure. I think that manure extension holds 4 million liters of manure. We only got like 50 or 60,000 currently, I think. So plenty of room there. In Farm Sim, I use a G27 steering wheel. I use the steering wheel for Farm Sim and ATS and other driving games currently that I play, like SnowRunner, Roadcraft, Forza. I use an Xbox controller. Which I had a lot of fun on Friday getting back into SnowRunner. So we'll probably be doing a little bit more of that this week. Okay, this field is fully fertilized. Well, at least with slurry it is anyways. Alright, mini-map. Get rid of that. Watch out for Sam. And I'll take out a little bit more slurry and put it into this tanker just to give us more room in the cow barn. I was going to sell some, but I'm going to see how much slurry we're making, or the cows are making in overnight. I keep forgetting the dual wheels, which is something I don't usually have in my tractors. It's amazing how much wider the tractor feels, as it should, with them on there. So yeah, we got is it 430,000 liters in there? 435 is what we got in there. Oh yeah, I need to move some eggs. Don't want to run out of space for the eggs. Well, I want to go by my answer on the wheel over the controller in Farm Sim because I've never used the controller in Farm Sim. So all these are going to go into the mayonnaise production if they don't somehow slide out the front. I think FS13 was the only time I did not use my steering wheel playing Farm Sim. I used my keyboard and mouse. I mean, I still use my keyboard and mouse a little bit. But when FS15 came out, I had the wheel for Euro Truck at that point. And I started using the wheel for that, and I found out driving around was so much easier. I never used the controller. I actually forgot when I started using, when I bought the Xbox controller for the PC, what game I used it in first. Don't remember. So yeah, April, we are pretty much done with. But I'm going to fast forward to the end of the day, check the sale page, and then we'll go to bed and check the sale page. Nope. Not what we're looking for. So 435 liters of slurry is what the cows had. Great demand for mayonnaise. All right, well, it's... All right, so 435. So they're making about 20,000 liters per month. So I think I can get to harvest season, and this will not be full again. So I'm not going to sell any yet. And then we'll use a lot of this in refertilizing our fields. So slurry, we're not going to sell that or put an extension down or anything like that. Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. Where's the mayonnaise? 388. That's not even close to our best selling. So yeah, we're not gonna do that. Wait, did I check the sale page? Okay. Really? They're really trying to sell... Well, they know harvest season's coming up, so they're probably trying to sell augers, which we do not need. So, the month of May, we fertilized the grass fields. We're just waiting for harvest season. The cows should have... That food should be going in. Yep, that's nice and full. So, they're good. They got plenty of straw. Yeah, they're fine. So, we're just skipping the month of May. Let's fast forward time to the end of the day to check the sale page before we go to bed. Well, one of the augers are gone. A baler and a tree harvester. So the question is, in the month of June, is any of our fields ready for harvest in June? I'm like 50-50 on this. I'm not quite sure. First thing, sale page. Well, no harvest. I mean, it's only the particular harvester and headers I'm looking for, but they're not there. Alrighty, let's go up to here and here. And yes, we got a field ready for harvest. Don't remember what's in there, so we got to buy our harvester today. Our grass field. So, and there's one of the NPC workers. That's not our worker. That's another farmer doing work there. So we do have a field ready for harvest today. So it is time to buy the harvester and header and see how much money we get left over. I do have the silage bales to sell. So we're going to go sell those to get the money in the bank account. Because that should push us over 700,000 in the bank account, which is probably the most money I would have had in the account since we've been here, I think. So I think we got one field of canola and the other fields are wheat and barley. Crop types that we can feed the chickens with. I don't have the grain mill. No intentions on buying the grain mill because I do that in just about every series. So we're not going to buy the grain mill to make flour, because usually if I buy the grain mill, then I him and Ha be like, well, if you're going to make flour, you might as well get the bakery. And you know, it seems like I do that in every series. So this series, no grain mill, no bakery. Easy there. Boy, I don't think it's got anything to do with the dual wheels today. Now, even with this tractor, I'm ramming into things. And there we are, over 700,000 in the bank account. I think at one point early on-ish in the series when I was doing the fishing, I think we did hit the spot where I released enough fish where I earned $500,000. And I did a poll to say if we should keep the $500,000. Everyone, well, I don't want to say everyone, but I think it was like over 90% said yes. So I think that's the last time I had this much money in the bank account. I don't think we had 700,000, but we were over $500,000 at least. So $500,000 is going to go towards the harvester and the header. Since the field across from us has peas in it, I may buy the Verado drill for drilling the grass field. We'll re-drill the grass fields and get it full of grass again, so we don't have those patches. So this field to the right to 122,000, and again, I just want to put a farmhouse on it, decorate it up, put some decoration around it, a pond, and maybe, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to go with a greenhouse yet for the sugar beet, or what I'm going to do with it. Alright, so sale page, our harvester is not there. So let's go on down here. And, alright, so it's this harvester we're kind of going with. So I did have a restriction of 250 horsepower on our harvesters, but we're going to expand that a little bit because of our fields. It's taking too long to harvest with a 6 meter wide. And I couldn't put a bigger header on the harvester we had because, yeah, I just wouldn't do it. Here, we're going to go with the... Do I want to go with a 400 horse? Or 350? What's the capacity on this? 10,000 liters, 11,000 liters. All right, I'm going to go to 400 horse just because I don't want to be, if I get the header and it's not enough horsepower, I don't want to have to pay again for something. I would have wasted pretty much 13,000 upgrade to this much horsepower. So we're going to do that. Straw distribution width, we'll keep it at 6. Beacon light is standard. What's our other option? Double flash, standard. I'll keep it at standard. I don't like the LED beacons too much in the game. In real life, I think they do look better. In the game, not as much. And the pipe. Yes, we're going to need a longer pipe. Actually, you know what? Let me go... That's 10,000. Okay, it's going to be a little bit more expensive because I'm probably going bigger than I thought it would, but that's because the money situation is looking that good. I don't think I need a pipe that long for what we're doing. I think that one would be better. Yeah, let's go with that. So 395,230. Yeah, okay, so there's a good chunk of change. And now we need grain headers. And we're going to scroll on down because we're going to get ourselves a MacDon. And that's a 13 meter wide, which is, I think, we had a 6. Going to a 13 is going to be a huge increase. I don't think I want to go more than that. Transport wheels, yes. Brand. Oh, we can't do class? We can't do a class brand? All right, if I leave it at the MacDon brand, but on the color, we go class green. That way it kind of matches a little bit. Or do we want to do it like, what is that going to look like? And then if I do design color, if I do... Do Holland yellow, JCB yellow. Is there not... Maybe I'll switch it back to the MacDon red. Yeah, I think that will be fine. Working lights. We don't work at night, so I don't think I need lights. So 118,000 for that. But yes. The one thing I did not check, but I'm hoping it better, is that this harvester has a hitch on it. Looks like it does. All right, that's step number 1 out of the way. So here we are. So harvest season was taken, we don't have that many fields, but with a 6 meter wide header, it was taking a bit. But now we've more than doubled our header size. Yeah, we'll go back this way. Why not? And I should throw on the beacons. It's also going to reduce the amount of swaths we have when it comes to picking up straw. But man, this header just seems huge now compared to what we had before. Yeah, before I was putting the header on the combine, just driving around the map that way. Not going to do it with this. Can't even get down the road with a 13 meter wide header on the harvester. So that leaves us with almost 200,000 in the bank account. 122,000 for the field across from our yard. I would buy that right now if I had a crop in it that I would be able to harvest, but it's peas. So probably what we'll do, the money, when we get to July, after we cut the grass fields, I'll buy that Vireto seed drill so we can reseed our grass fields. I think that's like about 50,000 for like the biggest drill. Although I could just get the smallest one, but I don't think the price difference is going to matter too much. Because I could just get ourselves a worker to plant in that field. And the upside about those drills is it's only going to use seed where there is no grass. So it's not like if I use our direct drill and I just replanted that field with grass, it's going to reseed the entire field. The Vireto will only seed where there is no grass, where it's taking damage. Man, I feel like this harvest with this combine, I was like, yeah, I can't wait to get this harvester and header, but I think harvest season is going to go by real quick now. Which could open the door to me thinking, well, maybe I'll buy more fields. Well, I actually made it around that corner. Alright, so the header... I need the header turned around. So we'll come through here. Turn off the beacons, we don't need those. There we go. Fold up the header. The other thing I just want to see, but it looks like the auger is more than long enough. Yeah, I went a little extreme on the auger. But the good thing is I won't have to get right beside the combine when we unload. Oh, and we want swath. We want the straw just to sell it. I don't need it for the cows at all. So 6 miles an hour, that's looking good. Looks like we got enough horsepower currently. And all our fields are flat, so if it works on this field, it should work fine on the others. Yeah, I'm glad I went with the more horsepower, because it does seem like if I went with the lower horsepower, we may not have reached the high working speed of 6. And I do like the color on the header. That seems to match the Combine almost perfectly. The green is the Claas green, but the red is the Macdon red, but it's kind of hard to really see the difference in it. It's so close, I don't think anyone's going to notice. I already forgot. Is the capacity 11,000 liters? So double the header and double the capacity of the grain tank. I'm just kind of curious. So the nitrogen's showing bad, which means it should be registering that we had it in the field. And you may be saying, well, that's the way it should work. Well, you've been around my series in Farm Sim 25 with precision farming. You know that it always doesn't use the nitrogen in the field when we harvest for some reason. I've had issues. Looks like I'll make it to the end of this row. So this would be a good opportunity to unload the combine. Now let's grab whatever tractor I get in first. Looks like the Fendt wins. Nope, wrong shed. Where are you going? I have no idea where I'm going. And since I'll have the barley in the trailer, I'll probably just top off the chickens before we put it into the silo. Oh yeah, I wonder how fast this unloads as well. The Dominator was a little slowish. But this field here needs lime, needs fertilizer. Yeah, this unloads much faster. I think it, even though it's double the capacity almost, it's actually unloading faster than the Dominator would with 6,000 liters or 8,000 liters, whatever it was. That might have been actually an 8,000 liter capacity, but still. Yeah, look at the number of swaths we're going to have with this combine compared to the other one that we had. So it's just going to make work that much faster all the way around during harvest season. Hello, John Granger. Welcome. Hope you're having a nice Tuesday. Appreciate you stopping on in for a little harvesting at this point on Pichonniere Valley. In our brand new combine that we just bought and header that cost me $520,000 for the setup. And now the swaths look rather large. Baylor's going to have a good time picking that up. Yeah, I think it used to take me with the other combine about a half an hour to harvest this field. I'm going to get it done in like 10. Might as well go unload, although I think I could have got the rest of the field into the combine. So yeah, I went a little bit overboard on the auger, but that just gives us so much clearance between the header and the trailer. Could be a little bit of a problem if I have to unload near a headland, because obviously the auger would be into the woods or something, but overall I think we're fine. So another thing I just got to double check on before I start working the fields, although this field apparently does not need it, would be soil sampling. And the reason why I know it doesn't need it is when I got out to look at the nitrogen to make sure it was getting used, it was showing me that it had no nitrogen and the pH level was low as well. If the soil was out of date, it would just say, well, no data available. And there we go, just like that, this field's already done. I mean, that's going to happen real quick when you go from a 6-meter wide header up to a 13. Alright, let's get rid of the mini-map. We don't really need that anymore for right now. Let's go ahead and unfold the header. Get the combine folded up because they don't have any more fields to do in June. Now the only situation is, though, this is not going to park where the other combine did. So, I mean, I got plenty of sheds and shed space, but I don't really have anything for that currently. So, something I need to think about. I may need to sell one of the sheds that we have and put down just a bigger one. So even though we just fed the chickens, they will take a little bit. The grain's already in the trailer, so may as well. Then the rest will go into storage. And they should be good for 5.5 months. And I think I'm done with June, honestly, unless I want to do some baling. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Where did I leave my Kubota? Is that on the slurry tanker? Yes, it is. We'll go do the bales, that straw. Mayonnaise is piling up, which is good. It's good to leave the mayonnaise out in the summer heat. Adds a little bit of texture to it. I think, I can't remember if it was FS 15 or 17. I want to say 17. That I think it was the fish farming mod back in FS17 for the factory. If you didn't put the fish in the cooler, the fish would go bad. Kind of need something like that for 25 and whatnot, because obviously leaving mayonnaise out in the warm weather probably not a great idea. So these straw bales will just sell because I got a whole bunch in the shed and the cows don't need that many. I am using a mod that has a slightly wider pickup for the balers. Anything with a pickup, a forage wagon, a baler. Just because I always hate going around just missing tiny little bits on either side of the baler when you got a big swath. It's not that much wider than the baler, but it's wide enough to where you don't have to be too precise in driving right down the center and trying to get it all. Yeah, with the bigger header, a lot less swaths to go around pick up, so it's making this job faster as well. So it's like a double bonus. Boy, in real life, that straw just drove over that huge hump. That would have clogged up the baler so fast. Gotta get every little straw because it counts. Because straw is worth so much. And yes, I'm being sarcastic when I say that. I gotta say it because if I don't, someone will say straw's not worth that much. Finally, today, where I live, the temperature is almost back to where it should be. Because now we are in the month of June, of course, and the last like 4 or 5 days where I live, it's been rather chilly. Not last night, but I think it was the night before last. It actually got down into the 30s. Almost like fall weather. And the temperatures were only getting up to like low 50s during the day. Which is great temperature for working outside, getting some yard work done. Not in the rain though. And it was kind of raining and 50 degrees over the past couple of days. So that kind of sucked. But today the temperature is almost 70 degrees. Yeah, the one thing I don't look for anymore, we used to do a lot in FS25, is when we were going to get a tornado. But honestly, at this point, I can't remember the last time we had a tornado in the game. I don't know if Giants made it such... Because I did talk about it early on. It's like, it does seem like the tornadoes were spawning way too often. I don't know what the chance of getting a tornado are down to at this point, but it seems like we hardly ever get tornadoes anymore. But now that I say it, let me go ahead and check the forecast to see if, see if there's any tornadoes. I don't know if modders, when they make a map, can eliminate tornadoes. Yeah, we don't got no tornadoes in the forecast here, because we haven't had one on this map that I'm aware of. I don't think we've had. Alright, so the chicken's been fed. The cows should be fine still. Yes, they are. They're getting a little bit low on the straw, but they're fine for the rest of the month. And I should just double check our fields. So this will be ready next month. And then this looks like it'll be ready next month. This might be ready next month. Field 16, that is not going to be ready next month. That's fine. Our grass fields, right here and here and here, they're in the first harvest stage. We're going to wait until the second one. But, yeah, I think we're all set to skip to the rest of the day. Just check the sale page. Nope, nothing there. So now I'm just looking for the Viredo seed drill for our grass fields. Let's go to the end of the day. Double check the sale page. No, that's not what we need. Interesting, but not what we need. Yeah, let's go to July. And it's July. Sale page. And nope, not on that either. All right, so none of that stuff is what we need. Let's just double check here. So this field here is ready, as is this bigger field over here. I don't remember what I planted in this one. All right, so this is winter wheat. Is this canola? Yes, that's canola. That's kind of important because I need the oil to keep on making mayonnaise. And this is rye. So I think we're going to harvest the canola field first, because I want to make sure that production keeps on going. And yes, we are out of canola. We're also out of mustard. Let's go ahead and turn that off because I did not plant any mustard this year. So canola needs to be harvested. Can we get in? There we go. What would cause an alfalfa field say that either pH is bad or fertilizer is bad after seeding? Well, in precision farming, assuming that's what if you're using precision farming, if you're trying to do the lime should not change anything because the lime is done by the soil type. Fertilizer is done by soil type and the crop. So if you're fertilizing before you put a crop in the field, the fertilizer is it's probably going to put down the max fertilizer that it can because you don't have a crop in the ground. If you wait until after the crop is in the ground, that's when you get a better reading on the fertilizer. pH shouldn't matter unless you did the lime spreading before you did soil sampling. Then that would throw off the pH value. Nope, a little bit too far to the right. All right, so canola, very important. We got to get that canola oil back up and running so we can get some mayonnaise. I want lots of mayonnaise for October. So we got 3 fields to harvest in July. But now with our new setup, it shouldn't be like, we're going to get it all done. We'll get time to get all 3 fields harvested and probably get some fields fertilized and lime sprayed if needed. And soil sampled as well. This field won't have any bales into it, so I could probably get a worker in here to put down the slurry. Because I'm curious. Yeah, so it does say, so it looks like it is using the nitrogen in the field. I don't have that bug that happens once in a while. At least it appears it's not showing up. was ready to say, I think this header is a flex head, and looks like it is flexing. Because this field over here to our left, right in the field, the elevation increases a little bit. And if I had a rigid header, that could cause problems, but this looks like it is a flex head. The one thing I probably should change that I can do on this combine is I got to add a 6-meter wide swath behind us. Probably with a 13-meter wide header, I should expand that to, I'm guessing, up to 12. Because that will give me, with the chopped straw on the ground, that'll give me mulching, I believe, as a bonus. So if I were to look at the mulching, you can kind of see where we harvested, it's not going all the way across, and that's giving me a kind of a bonus. I think it's like a 1% bonus with precision farming, but a bonus is a bonus. But that's not going to make me want to roll my fields, though, after seeding. I don't. That's like an extra step. Getting the mulch down from the harvester. I'm harvesting the crop anyways. It's just what's coming out the back of the harvester. If I adjusted that, I would increase the coverage on the field. So, of course, a lot of work to do July, August, September. Harvesting, prepping the fields, and then we'll have to have a look at crop rotation to see what crops need to go in what fields. Not going to quite make it back around, but that's fine. Let's grab the Kubota. The reason why I want to use the Kubota on the trailer is I want to use a fence for course play. Maybe it's the Kubota that's causing... Oh, wait. Are you cows out of feed? Why does that look like it's empty? They're not out of feed. It just looks... I mean, they're half full, but it looks empty, and the TMR mixer is empty. So I gotta take care of that this month. And again, I think when I cut the grass, definitely those fields right there, we're going to make into hay. So yeah, July, busy month. I will put the beacons on because I will be going to the oil mill after... or once the trailer's full. I was going to say once we finish the harvest, but I think we'll get a full trailer before then. At least I hope we do. A little bit of crop damage, maybe. Maybe not. What's my opinion on the new DLC for 25 coming out at the end of the month? I had a quick look at it yesterday morning. I didn't really have a lot of time on my hands yesterday. That's why I didn't stream yesterday. But I was looking at it real quickly yesterday morning. Other than the new equipment, I really haven't had a chance to look at it, so I don't want to give an opinion on it yet. Because I know it's more than just the equipment that they're kind of going to be doing. And I haven't had a chance to look at it yet today. I know the news got released today, but I had access to it yesterday. I just haven't had a chance the last 2 days to look at it too much. But if it's the way it's been going, I should get early access to that DLC. So if it's something you might be interested in, stay tuned. Usually about, I think we get early access to it like 5 days, 3 to 5 days before it comes out. So I'll try to use that equipment and show off what the DLC has to offer before it comes out, that you can make up your mind then about it. But I mean, if you already got the Season 2 pass, you're going to get it anyways. But usually we get their early access to it like 3 to 5 days before it comes out. Actually, I think Kingley, when the Highland Fishing DLC came out, I think we got the early access a week before. Well, it's not going to take me long to... Well, it's going to take me a little while longer to harvest this field, unlike the other one. So yeah, this is our... Well, at least this stream. We've already harvested one field, but... this header that we're using now is... just a bit bigger than double the size header that we had before. DJ put out a video this morning about the new equipment and the dirt accumulation. I used to, when Farm Sim 25 was doing all the pre-releases and all that, I did videos on it. But when it comes to like DLCs and stuff like that, yes, we get the assets of what Giants shows us. But I would really like to get more hands-on when I do that kind of stuff. So I don't make videos on that kind of stuff anymore, just because there's plenty of people out there that make videos on it. And sometimes it just brings up more questions than we got answers for. Does the simulator give you inside view? Yes, you can be inside cab. But most people that watch Farm Sim like the outside view because you get a better look at the equipment. But if you're just playing for yourself or whatever, and you want a more realistic view, yes, you can go in cab. You can go in cab on all vehicles, really. But most people do like the third-person view. It was more of just a teaser without many of the details. Yeah, from the assets I was looking at yesterday, I was like, doesn't really doesn't really explain a lot, and I'll just be getting asked a lot of questions. So yeah, just that when we get early access to it, or if we do, but I'm assuming we will, I'll be able to showcase it. If I can't showcase it on this map, I may just go on another map and just use the equipment, kind of like I did with the Verado DLC. So when the Verado DLC came out, I just went on, I think I went on Riverbend Springs, and I showed how the seeders worked and the bores and all that, how it did. But from the assets that we got yesterday morning, I couldn't really, I was like, it's not really, I mean, we got, like you said, a teaser of information, but also it left more questions than what were answered. But that's kind of the whole thing about, though, if you're a salesman, that's what you kind of want to do. But like I said, we'll have a look at the DLC when it comes out, or whenever I get access to it. I haven't installed the Verado pack. Seems like more of an annoyance than an enhancement of gameplay. I mean, the one thing I kind of like about it, does add a little bit more realism to where the grass fields get worn down a bit. The wild boars are kind of interesting, but I don't think wild boars, like if you're trying to be immersed into the location of the area that you're farming in, a lot of areas don't have wild boars, so it is kind of odd and weird to see them around, I suppose. I got it turned on here just because, and oddly enough, we're going to be doing, maybe not in today's stream, but we will be getting the Verado drill, because my grass fields, I probably have mowed them like 9 to 10 times now, 9 to a dozen times, and we got some big patches in one of our grass fields, so they need to be reseeded. Yeah, the Verado pack was nothing that, honestly, I mean, the Highland DLC that came out was the last one I had some interested in. But it was because of the map. I did like the Kingley map. I did like fishing with a fishing pole. I did not like too much the offshore fishing part of that DLC. The Verado DLC, like I said, if that did not exist, it wouldn't have bothered me too much. And again, that comes back around to the conversation I seem to have every stream at this point when I do Farming Simulator 25. Is the DLCs don't seem to be that well where it's bringing people back to play it or watch it. None of the DLCs seem to be grabbing people's attention. It's like, that's interesting, or that's about the most we get out of it. Is it's interesting, but nothing like, oh wow, look, I can't wait for that DLC to come out to give that a go. I was kind of hoping I think the hit was Steals the Shade or something like that. And at one point I was thinking maybe it has something to do with moisturizing the fields with the irrigation systems. I know there's some mods out there that kind of do that now, but I was thinking, well, maybe that could draw people back if they add irrigation into the fields. Which is kind of interesting that we don't have to take care of the moisture content of our crops and whatnot yet, but maybe when FS 28 rolls around, that'll be something. But yeah, so far the DLCs have not been something that's going to bring people back or attract people to the game, I don't think. I'd like to see pumps and hoses come back. I have mixed feelings about that. I've used it a couple times, and I'm not sure if I like it or don't like it. Alright, so just like that, this field is harvested. It used to take me forever with the Dominator and a 6-meter wide header. And yes, I do like the fact that I went a little bit too extreme on the auger for the combine. So I don't have to get right up beside the trailer. Are we going to get all of this canola into that trailer? I think so, with ease. It's not a lot of canola for making mayonnaise. Now let's turn off the combine and let's go get this delivered so we get making oil again. You like the advanced damage system? I may use that when I start a new series, but I'm so far into this series I don't want to change up what we've been doing when it comes to something like that. Although I don't think it changes it, the gameplay, you know, maybe I haven't looked into too much, but I don't think it changes the gameplay that much where it would ruin what we're doing here, but... Although the repainting part of it seems like it's a lot better. So we're off to the oil mill to put this canola in. Again, we're making the canola and the canola oil, which then gets distributed to our mayonnaise production. And the oil gets mixed with eggs to make mayonnaise. And hopefully we'll have a good bunch to sell when October rolls around. This might be a little tricky going down to the oil mill with a dual-wheel tractor. I hear that white car behind me, but don't try to pass me when I turn wide here, buddy. And you were about to. It is kind of interesting, this oil mill, where it's located. Coming in here with a semi and a trailer would be difficult. I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying it'd be difficult. Trying to get close enough to this drop-off point so I don't have to back up to it. There we go. Needs a few tweaks in the settings menu, but it's a fun mod to mess around with. Yeah, it does look interesting. But since I'm 120 hours in on this save file, I don't want to be changing anything too much. I don't mind adding mods like tractors, trailers, combines, or whatever. But as for changing the base thing, yeah, I don't want to do that right now in the series. And driving through here, probably better first person. What crops am I growing? Well, we just harvested canola. And in June, we harvested winter barley. And we also got winter wheat to harvest this month, along with the grass fields. Again, the canola, we're planting that so we can make the oil. And the winter wheat and barley, we are kind of using for chicken feed. But I got more than what we need, so I'll probably sell that in December when the price is high. But now let's get back to the farm. We're going to grab the Fent, and I want to get them to spray some slurry in that field. And I want to see if course play is acting up, or is it just that one field today? Actually, I kind of drove past the road I should have taken, because that would have brought me right to my other field. Well, since I'm going this way, I think I'll drive it over to this field up here. Don't really have to park it off the road because there's no AI traffic on this road. All right, let's grab... Well, yeah, I do need to move you, don't I? Unfold the header. And we'll bring that down where we just parked up the Kubota. Just got to double check. I did leave the production on for canola oil, I hope. Pretty sure I did. I'm not going to harvest this field right now because we've been doing quite a bit amount of harvesting already today. if I park this... let's see, I gotta be able to hitch up to the header as well. Well, right here would be a good spot for it, because there's no fence on the other side, so right here would be good. Yep, that's good. Yes, let's grab you. And let's hope course play will work fine in this field over here. So again, because we got cows, we got slurry manure, I try to prep the fields by putting down one or the other in the field. And when I go around with a direct drill and we plant our crop, I won't need to use as much artificial fertilizer to get the nitrogen to where it needs to be for the crop that we are planting. This field does not need to be soil sampled, I believe. I'm going to double check, though. Whoops. Need to be there. There. I mean, it's the dark areas is a little bit out of date, but not fully out of date. So I think we're fine for now. All right, let's see if this works. Yeah, go that way. One headland, 2% overlap. All right, that seems to be working. And hire worker. So again, if we go where they just put down the slurry, you see the bottom right-hand corner. Ooh, that is awfully high nitrogen. 220 compared to 60 over here in the red. So that might be over fertilizing it. So while we're in this field, actually, let's see. This is field number 65, and we just had canola in it. 65. So canola. So this is the next crop, oats. So we got to change. Oats look like they're good, but we don't have no use for oats. Spring barley is 120. So is spring wheat at 120. All right. What else has a good ratio? Sorghum. I don't have a planter. Triticale is something we could put in. Well, winter wheat or barley would work as well. I think I'll put in winter barley at 120%. So the winter barley and wheat yield better than winter, sorry, let me start over. The winter barley and winter wheat harvest and yield a lot better than the spring barley and wheat. I think we saw like a 10% increase when we tested it early on this map. 10% increase in yield. All right, so that is good to go. Let me grab... Yes, we need this. So while that's fertilizing that field... What am I seeing up there? Oh, those are vents. When I was far back... Where was I? Right there. I quickly looked on the roof of our mayonnaise production. I thought I had wild boars on top of that roof, but it turns out to be just vents when you get closer. Just the way the angle was. I was like, why are there boars on my roof? Alright, we need to make some TMR. And yes, definitely got to make some hay because I'll be down to 2 hay bales So, speaking of hay, we're kind of lined up. Going to grab 2 of these. And boy, my frame rate just took a nosedive all of a sudden. Not sure why. It does that in this part of the map every once in a while. I feel like I must be down to like low 40s frame rate. So 2 hay, 2 silage, 1 straw bale. And I'm probably going to put a straw bale in their barn for bedding. Because I'm pretty sure they've gone through enough. Again, these are pretty big bales, and that's also a modded TMR mixer. So we're going to be making roughly about 80,000 liters of TMR here. But our mixture is 2 hay, 2 silage, 1 straw bale, and that is a good mixture of TMR for us. Actually, if we bring up the helper HUD, you can see in the bottom left-hand corner. Yeah, we're at almost the peak end of straw. We're at the low end of silage, and we're kind of like right in the middle of hay for our mixture. But that is, if it's all in the green, that means you made TMR, which is total mixed rations. But we just call it TMR, and I'm pretty sure some farmers call it TMR as well. Just want to drop that off there if I can. If it wants to fall off the forks, there we go. And that should disappear. Ooh, didn't really show up too much. Yeah, they're good for a while-ish. Let's see, I should probably park this, because I'm going to be making hay bales. Let me just park this over here. So yep, 84,000 liters of TMR is what we have. And we'll do the trick of unload, but then quickly turn off the vehicle and get out. And this will automatically keep the feed trough full. As long as there's TMR in there, it'll top this off on its own while you're still in the game. If you exit the game and reload, then you gotta do that trick over again, so it automatically feeds your feed troughs to the animals. So let's see, that's being used. Yeah, straw bales, they're fine for now. I want to leave that free. So how are you doing over here, sir? Or ma'am, I don't know who took over the wheel. Do I plant the winter wheat or barley? Not until September. Alright, so we don't plant that until September. Okay. But this does need some lime spread into it. So let's go. You know what? I'm running all the way over there. Might be quicker if I just did this. And we're going to go grab the lime spreader. And we're going to join our slurry spreader in that field and get that field prepped up all the way. Again, these are jobs I could actually do another month later. But I feel like we've done quite a bit of amount of harvesting right now. I could hire a worker to harvest, but it's not going to take me long to harvest those fields And I feel like the worker might get stuck in that field. That's an odd-shaped field. Ish. It's got a lot of sharp corners to it. So let's go over here to our wonderful hut where we can buy everything. It's like our Amazon. Yes, we want diesel fuel. $357 worth of diesel. And now let's fill up with some lime. Not the tractor, but the cart. And let's join our friend in this field here. So if I get the mini map out, this is another great thing about precision farming. I kind of wish we could do this without precision farming, but yeah, you can see the color changing in the field. So we can kind of see the level of nitrogen, lime. You can also see the yield when you're in a harvester. The only thing you can't see, which is kind of weird, is when you're killing weeds. It doesn't show you like where the weeds are. Hello, Timmy. Welcome. My afternoon in Farming Simulator is going well. Bought ourselves a new harvester setup that cost $500,000, but it was, or it is, a very nice upgrade from what we had before. And we still got $200,000 in the bank account, which is nice. In real life, my afternoon's going well. Also, the weather is beautiful outside compared to the way it's been the last couple of days. And I hope your Tuesday is going just as well as mine is, because I really don't have that many complaints. So let's see, here in July, we still got 2 more fields to harvest. We got 3 grass fields to cut. 2 I'm going to make into hay bales, so I got to ted it and windrow it. This grass field to our left, trying to figure out if I want to make that a hay field or make that grass into hay this go around as well. And just get a lot of hay stored up. And for those wondering why don't I use GPS, I really don't like using GPS too much. When GPS first came out as a mod back in 17, I used it a lot. And I mean a lot. I used it very little at the beginning of FS19 when it became available, and really haven't used it since. I just don't feel like I play on big enough fields for me to want or need to use GPS. Just my preference. Now let's see, so you're almost done, aren't you? You got one more pass. So about 20 minutes ago, this was a field of canola. In about another 5 minutes, it'll be a field prepped ready for planting winter barley, which we will do in September. Well, it's good to see that course play is working in this field. My large grass field today, for some reason, either when I loaded in the map, course play didn't detect the field edges correctly, because that usually worked in that field, but today, the large grass field, course play was like, nope. We don't see that half of the field, so... But luckily, this field here seems to be working. I don't think I can finish this field with the lime that we got, but it's going to be close. So we'll give it a shot here. Just a quick reminder, since our last stream, I did have an episode of American Truck Simulator that went out on Sunday. Tomorrow you'll have an episode of City Skylines 2. It looks like I'm going to be just shy on the lime, I think. Well, just got to go back and refill, which is, it's all right. I mean, lime is cheap and we're not too far. Love this little hut right here. You can just buy pretty much anything from. I don't have to go to the store and just keep buying bags and bags, and it's not the way I prefer to play the game too much. I don't want to be spending a lot of time traveling back and forth to the store. It's just nice to go back to that hut, pay for what we need. And that is this field, pH level, back to where it needs to be. Interesting, we got like one little spot right there in the middle, which the color coordination seems to be off, but it could be a different soil type. Why does it seem like it's struggling to haul this? There it goes. Now it's getting up to speed. Interesting. Alright, let's grab that fent. That worker's been done for a while. Hopefully they weren't sitting in there and charging me for it. Bring this over to the other field that we harvested. Not going to spray it with slurry just now because I still got straw bales in there. But I do need to see what I should plant in this field for next harvest season. I'm going to park this right here. So this was, this is field number 36, and it was winter barley. So field 36 and winter barley. So 36, oh, right here. So winter barley was the last one we harvested. So now, well, I mean, winter wheat even says 120. I mean, that's a good rotation right there. I should just leave that as is, and this, because I mean, 120, 120, 125. But boy, I definitely need canola for next year. But we got 3 more fields to figure out the rotation on. So I'll have to see what those do. So yeah, we'll leave this one as is. So winter wheat will go into this one for next year. So that'll be planted September, right? I think we saw winter wheat and barley are September. Yep. But yeah, this needs nitrogen and lime spread into it as well, which we will get done. The grass fields. You know, let me grab, we'll grab the fence, because I've been using, feel like I've been using the Kubota quite a bit today. I mean, I've been using both quite a bit. Hello, Bob. Welcome. Hope your Tuesday, as you just said, it's been a busy day, but hopefully it's been a good Tuesday. Let's grab this, and I'm going to cut the grass, but this time I don't want to put it into a swath. We need to put this into just regular mowing. Because this needs to be tedded and windrowed. Kind of started today streaming by cutting the grass. Still not sure what I want to do with the other field. I think the other field, though, I'm going to make silage bales. And then when I do the third cut of the year in October, we'll see how we're getting through the hay bales. And then I can do all three fields then with hay if I need to. I think that's what I'm going to do. Alright. Off to the other grass field. And again, these grass fields at some point... maybe not both. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. But when we get to... making some wine here in Pichonniere, we're going to need some grapevines. And I think these small fields might be the location for it. I don't know, I'm still 50-50 on making the wine. I'm not sure if I want to do it or don't want to do it. Because I know how much fun I have the first year harvesting grapes. But then after that, not so much. And I don't... I mean, I could... I know there's greenhouses out there that will allow you to grow grapes. And, but to me, that would take away maybe too much of what... That's too much of an easy mode, I would feel like. And again, this section of the map right here, my frame rate is taking a nosedive. I can always tell, I don't really notice it too much until I get down to the low 40s, and that's where we're at. Usually, I'm up around high 70s, low 80s. You're not going to find the winery on the mod hub. You're going to have to go to a third-party website to get those. That winery means alcohol, and Giants are not going to put that on their mod hub. So if you just type in under Google search, I mean, if you're playing on, I guess if you're playing on console, you won't be able to get it, I suppose. Well, on PC, if you just do a Google search for Farming Simulator 25 Winery, you'll find the mod on third-party websites. And again, the reason why you won't find it on the mod hub, like I said, it's alcohol kind of based. If Giants started doing stuff like that, they won't be able to keep their rating for the game, which is E for everyone. And that limits... when a game has a rating, there are limitations of where they can advertise their games and such. So obviously Giants, if it's E for everyone, you can pretty much advertise anywhere. Let's go mow the big grass field, and we're going to put this into a swath. And now we want swath mowing again. And no, I'm not going to have the worker follow behind us. It worked earlier in the stream, but we had to wait quite a few times, so I think we'll just bail it up on our own later on. There are other mods that you can use on the mod hub for grapes. But I think it's like more types of things like making like grape juice or something like that. Yeah, grape juice, which you can already make in the game anyways. But if you want like a butcher mod or a winery mod or... that's why there's some crops that are not allowed on maps if it's going to be on the mod hub, because of what it promotes. So that's why there are some mods not on the mod hub or some crops not allowed in the game. So it becomes more noticeable when I cut the grass, the bare spots that have appeared since we activated the Veredo DLC, the wear and tear in the grass fields, and this will be the month that we reseed the grass fields. I may actually have to slow down the time scale to get everything done I need to do in the month of July. It does seem like it's quite a bit. Although I don't really need to rush the other harvest. Those other fields I can harvest next month if the weather permits. So I think I'm just going to focus on the grass fields and maybe keep the time scale where it is. If I don't harvest the other wheat in this in-game month, it's not that big of a deal. I don't need it for anything this month. It's just going to go into storage. Yeah, you've always been able to switch off with the Veredo DLC the animal damage. I don't think, or can you? So the damage you're seeing in our grass field is not from the animals. The damage in our field is from driving around on it. But I think you can turn that off as well. Yeah, right here. So there's wildlife crop damage. That's from the wild boars. But we got the feed troughs, and the forest ranger should be taking care of that. The damage we got in our field is grass damage. Grassland will be damaged over time and will require overseeding. I got that turned off. You can turn that off as well. But I mean, if you're going to turn both of these off, then I feel like why are you using the Veredo pack to begin with? Because that's the whole point of the Veredo pack. In my opinion. I can understand the wildlife damage being turned off if you don't want to do the feed troughs and put hay into them in October, November. But if you're running the Veredo pack, and you got the grass damage turned off, then why are you running the Varieto pack? Unless you just like the way their equipment looks. So right now I'm guessing I will, the silage bales we're going to be making from this grass, that's why I'm putting into a swath. I'm going to bale it, wrap it. These silage bales, you know what, I might as well just keep these as well. Even though I got a decent amount back at the farm. Might as well just do this entire cut as feed for the cows. And like I said, when October comes, we'll see how many hay bales we got. What's the disaster damage? Disaster damage is the hail and tornado. So, if you don't want to take disaster damage, turn that off so when it hails or you get a tornado, it won't destroy your fields and crop. But again, it's been so long since I've seen a tornado. One more pass with a batwing mower, and the grass cutting will be done for July. I will say it does seem, maybe it's just today, but because I started with grass work and we're doing grass work now, and I'm thinking, all right, well, I got to do everything as I just said, but then it needs to be refertilized again. I think I'm starting to get a little bit tired of grass work on this map. But we kind of need it for the cows. But not all three. All right, let's have a look at the store, because I do need it for this month, and it's not the sale page. I need to come on down to drills, which I think I went past the wrong way. Cedars. We got to go to the Varetos. And yeah, that is a 5.7 meter wide. Ooh, wow. Then it really drops down to a 2.8. Roller pack. Well, this is what we need to reseed our grass fields. Again, it's not going to go through that much seed because it's only going to use a seed where there is no grass, where it took the damage on it. So I don't know if I should do a flat roller or a roller pack. I mean, that's $1,000 more. It looks like if this was real life, this would be more important because it looks like it's the way it rolls, it would aerate the ground more rather than a flat roller. I'm going to go with the roller pack. We'll buy that. All right, so we got that. And, ooh, I was thinking about... I may have enough money to buy the field over here. Again, there's no rush to buy this field. Again, this is going to be basically for the farmhouse. It's not really a great field for farming in. This one here. So if I click on it, it's a 96% yield. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not average. It's a little bit below average. Average being 100, unlike this field here, which is, 101%. Whoops. And if you look at this like grass field, it's 106%, 117%. Yeah, so like this part back here, we're going to make into a farmhouse, pond, decorate it up, have like a driveway going through. And the front half I may use as for sugar beet, or because if I get to the winery, I need the sugar beet to make sugar, because we need sugar and grapes to make the wine. But right now there's peas in the field, and I could care less about peas. If I had the harvester, I'd be like, okay, but we don't have the harvester and don't plan to. And one thing I can't do in this series is lease or borrow, and even then that wouldn't be worth it. Can we turn off the beacons there? There we go. But the biggest thing we did today, other than doing some field work, is we got ourselves the new combine and the header, which is making harvesting the fields that much faster. Yeah, we had a restriction when I started the series, no combines over 250 horsepower, but it was getting to the point where it was taking me like 6 hours in real time to harvest the fields that we have, and this is going to reduce it down to like about an hour and a half at most. So we don't have that much. I mean, we still got the same amount of fields, just that it's going to be quicker with a header more than double the size of what we had before. So that's going to help. So yeah, we got this crop here. Again, this is winter wheat. I should be able to harvest it next month. Let me just make sure I can harvest winter wheat. Yes, I can. So I don't actually have to get the field harvested this month. And the other field is, where am I getting? Is this spelt? Triticale. And Triticale I should be able to harvest next month as well, I would think. Yes. So if I don't get it done in July, we got August to get to it. So, and the weather in August is looking like, well, it is showing rain. Question is it rain all day or what's the deal there? And then of course we do have, wait, where am I? We do have this field here, which is, oh, I did plant some mustard. All right. Well, that'll be next month or the month after that. So we do got some mustard in this field. So I'll be making some old jars, what's it called? Jars of mustard, I know that much. I keep one old style mustard pallets. You know, because that's what it is. But we already got that much butter again already. But that'll be in October. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for today. Not too bad. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff done. And so now we're pretty much just down to buying the field for our farmhouse. And then we'll look at the winery. And then also the BGA, which is going to be like 800 grand. for the BGA. But I think the winery will be coming for the BGA. The property, the winery, then the BGA. Then after that, I really don't have anything else I need to buy on this farm or to expand to. The BGA, we don't really need either. But we do bring silage bales there. And as we've seen, we got plenty of slurry and manure that we can bring up there and convert that to energy. I'll probably never get my money back on the BGA if I do buy at the end of the series. But if we got the money, we'll do so. But yeah, I'm going to jump out of here. Like I said, I did release an episode of ATS on Sunday if you haven't seen it yet. Tomorrow you'll have City Skylines 2. If you're a channel member, you should be able to go watch it now if you wanted to. Since I didn't stream yesterday, I will stream tomorrow. I'll see what I'm in the mood for tomorrow when I wake up. It's either going to be here on Farm Sim 25 or maybe go back into SnowRunner because I had a lot of fun doing SnowRunner on Friday. But I'm going to jump out of here. Appreciate everyone being here on a Tuesday for some farming. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Have a good start to your Wednesday, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. But until then, have a good one.